What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel Pigskin Addicts. Back again with another video. So, before I get into the draft pick that the Chargers made, I just wanted to point this out, and I wanted to record the screen now because I don't know how long this is going to stay up. But somebody made a mistake or is trolling, because we look at the Chargers website, right? And this is the official Chargers website. So you look at my cursor here. Look at this cursor here. This is chargers.com. This is the official website of the Los Angeles Chargers. And this is on the front page of it. Photos. Meet Chargers first round draft pick Malik Neighbors. So somebody either made a mistake or somebody is trolling. It's either one of the two. I don't see how it's not. But this is obviously incorrect information. We know that the Chargers drafted tackle Joe Alt from Notre Dame with the 5th pick. And I made a video about this a couple of weeks ago. And I explained how Joe Alt to the Chargers was a possibility. We seen it obviously as reality now. But I think nobody should really be that surprised. I mean, you can feel how you want to feel. If you thought Malik Neighbors was the pick like I did, right, you can feel a little bit of disappointment, and that's kind of, I feel a little disappointed, but it doesn't feel the same as it felt last year with Quentin Johnson being picked over Zay Flowers. It doesn't feel that way. And I know, yes, this is a new coaching staff, obviously new front office staff as well too, but it just doesn't feel the same. I don't feel the same disappointed. I like the pick, obviously, because this is what Jim Harbaugh does. Jim Harbaugh gets offensive linemen. He develops offensive linemen, and he obviously uses them well in the running game, right? He, probably will be the best at it, right? He was the best at developing offensive linemen when he was coaching for the 49ers. They had a very, very good offensive line. There were some guys who were already on that offensive line that weren't playing up to their maximum level, and then once he got there, he was able to push them there. So I like the pick. I trust Jim Harbaugh. I trust what the Chargers are going to do. But obviously there are holes to fill on this team, and we all know this, right? We know this. We don't have to spend a lot of time talking about this. There's a lot of holes offensively, but this is the Jim Harbaugh era. I don't think anybody should expect anything different. Anytime that there is an offensive lineman, there for the taking, Jim Harbaugh is going to look, and it's going to be hard for him to say no, especially when you have a profile like Joe Alt, especially when you are as big as Joe Alt. It's going to be hard, very, very hard for Jim Harbaugh to say no. And I would expect that going forward, every draft, right? Unless you field, 5 potential Pro Bowlers out there on your starting offensive line, I think the Chargers are going to be taking offensive linemen pretty much every year. And we can, be as annoyed or perturbed by it as we want to, but this is what we've been asking for. We go back, we remember the middle of the Tom Telesco years. Those offensive lines weren't great. And the patchwork, to fill it wasn't great as well too, going, picking, linemen in the 3rd and 4th round, and literally pushing those guys out on the field, even though they weren't ready to play, having them play at a subpar level, those days are gone. Those days are gone. We're going to be a very, very offensive line centric team. And this is something that the Chargers have never been, at least in my experience as a fan. I can never remember the Chargers being a team where O-lineman is the first thing you think about. And it seems like this is going to be this way. And I have no issues with it at all, guys, to be honest with you. Yes, this is not the pick that I personally wanted, but this goes to identity. And if you have been a listener of mine for, any period of time, I talked about identity. And I talked about this a lot, when Brandon Staley was coaching, when Tom Telesco was GM. The Chargers had no identity. It was just, let's do this, let's try this, let's do this, let's try this. We know who Jim Harbaugh is as a coach. We know what he likes to do. We know what, his thinking is, right? What his philosophy is as far as playing offensive football. We know what it is. This pick lines up with his philosophy, and that's why I have no issue with it. Again, not my personal preference, but I have no problem with it because this is who Jim Harbaugh is. This is his philosophy. He has had success, with similar picks, especially in San Francisco. He's had success doing this, so I have no issue at all with it. The only thing, the elephant in the room is where Joe Alt is going to play. He was a left tackle in college. Now, we obviously have a pretty damn good left tackle in Rashawn Slater. Somebody is going to have to move. And to me, it looks like you're going to ask Joe Alt to play right tackle. I don't know. I don't know how that is going to turn out. Obviously, he's capable. He has all of the physical tools. But it's not just a plug-and-play thing to move from left tackle to right tackle. We've seen other guys struggle at it. We've seen, guys who have Hall of Fame talent struggle at that. It's hard. It's hard. It's a completely different position, right? You're on the same offensive line. You're a tackle, but it's a completely different position. And that's not something that he played in college. He was barely even an offensive lineman for 3 years, right? This guy was a tight end in high school. So he really didn't even, get all that much run at a tackle position, right? It's just been his college years. So, for him to come up through high school, not play the tackle position, play the tight end position, and as a tight end, you're moving around, you're on both sides of the field. So, I kind of worry about that a little bit, but if Jim Harbaugh is able to develop linemen in LA the same way he developed linemen at Michigan, the same way he developed linemen with the 49ers, the same way he developed linemen at Stanford, then I think he's going to be fine. But I kind of alluded to this as well, too. What are the Chargers going to do here? What's going to be the move here? I also still think that there's a possibility that Rashawn Slater could be on his way out. I would not be surprised at that possibility. I know everybody's talking about, you have bookend tackles. That would be great. But we have to look at what just happened. Penei Sewell got that huge contract extension. I don't think that Slater is, going to command that same exact contract or even more. I don't think he's going to command that. But I do think he's going to be somewhere in the ballpark. Is that something that Jim Harbaugh and Ortiz, is that something that they want to do? Do they want to pay this guy a bunch of money, right? Knowing that you just drafted, a left tackle with the 5th pick, guy who is capable at left tackle, a guy who is big, right? Rashawn Slater is, as good as he is as a left tackle, he's a little bit undersized for the position. I don't think it has hindered him one bit in the NFL. But when you look at this dude, Joe Alt, he's a mountain of a man, 6'9", 320. When he walks in the room, everybody's looking at him. I don't know. There could be some question there. I wouldn't bet on it, but I would not be surprised if Rashawn Slater is not a Charger after this draft weekend. Once the draft is complete, I would not be surprised at all. Because if you're going to take this kid who has played left tackle, all of his experience has come at the left tackle position, he gets to the NFL, the highest level, you expect him to move to right tackle, and what if things don't translate, right? There's a possibility there. So there is a little bit of intrigue here. I'm curious to see what's going to happen, and if the Chargers do trade Rashawn Slater, what are they able to get for him? If they are going to trade him, now would be the time to do it. Teams are, kind of reshuffling, and teams are especially as the draft goes on, they're going to, jump up. You're going to see teams trade up. You're going to see teams trade up in the second, third round. There are picks to be had for Rashawn Slater if the Chargers are going to trade him. I think now is the time to do it if that's even a possibility. You got to strike now while the iron is hot, while teams are looking at all of these college prospects. If you're looking to take a tackle, you're looking at, a bunch of other guys, right? There's already been tackles taken in the first round. So now you're looking at guys with second, third, fourth round talent. Compare that to Rashawn Slater, right? You have a guy who's bona fide. He's been a Pro Bowler. He's been great for the Chargers. You compare him, you stack him up against everybody else who's available coming, out of the college pool. And obviously, if you're a team, you're going to want Rashawn Slater. So I think the Chargers can get the most compensation from him if they pull the trigger on that this weekend. If they don't, then I expect him, to still be in LA, and I expect both of these guys, to be on the starting offensive line. But either way, I like it. I like it. Again, I have always been about philosophy. You cannot like a pick. You cannot prefer the pick. It's fine, but it's about philosophy. This is Jim Harbaugh's philosophy. This is what the Chargers are going to do. They're going to run the ball. They're going to be physical. I like it. No complaints here. I just hope that everything goes the way that they plan, right? I don't want there to be any hiccups in the plan where they have to pivot or, have to quickly, have to bring somebody in or quickly trade somebody or, there's a whole lot of possibilities that can happen if things go wrong. So I just hope that we're not in that position. But as far as just the trade in general, I like it. Not the trade, the draft pick. The draft pick in general, I like it. I really do. And this is who Jim Harbaugh is. So all we can do now is wait and see how the rest of this draft shakes out. We'll see what the Chargers do with the rest of their picks. We'll see if there's any trades in the works. I assume the Chargers will, try to at least make one trade during this weekend, right? And that's either to move up or down, whoever it is, right? They've got their eyes on some guys in the later rounds. So we'll see how everything shakes out. But I just wanted to come on here, review the draft pick. Joel is a Charger. I like it. I have no issues with it. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. I want to see what everybody thinks. Hopefully everybody's not freaking out. I'm gonna be on Twitter a little bit later in the night, so I want to see the consensus on what's going on here, and hopefully everybody is okay with this pick because this is who Jim Harbaugh is. So it is what it is. Let's move on and let's see what happens tomorrow and on Saturday. But that is all I got for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for the support. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate all of my subscribers, new and old. Thank you guys for rocking with me. And I will be back again with more content very, very soon. And, I can't wait to do a full draft class review that's going to be coming up probably Saturday, Sunday. So stay tuned for that one. But until that, I will see you guys later.